Canada needs to fully embrace capitalism. Currently, we have several socialist tools of power. One, essentially, there's no private healthcare whatsoever. I agree that, like, if you can't afford, like a doctor visit or to get fucking patched up if you were shot or something, yeah, that should be covered. But people also should be able to take their own money they earned and purchase private medicine. Should be private clinics, private hospitals, even private ambulances. But we can also keep a public model as well. Most European countries have a mixed system. This is what I'm talking about. It's a mixed system. And they have 90% lower cost, because the people that can afford it are not clogging up the free healthcare system. So that's strike one for why Canada is actually essentially a fucking communist hellhole. Number two, the dairy cartel. You can be arrested and thrown in jail for selling eggs without a license or a government approval. That's communism. That is not capitalism whatsoever. Some people say, oh, we need to do this to protect our farmers. It's not protecting the farmers. The dairy cartel, socialist supply management, does not protect our farmers. It does nothing for the family farms that have propped up our glorious Confederation for over 150 years. It's the family farms that built this glorious nation, not corrupt factory farms that are unethical and drive up the costs. Supply management mainly benefits massive factory farms. Essentially, we're pumping millions to billions of dollars into the factory farms to increase the price of milk, eggs, cheese. That's not fair. The dairy cartel is against low-income people. It is essentially a hidden tax on the poor because it increases the price of dairy unnecessarily. And third, the Cannabis Act. We are in a country with legal cannabis and apparently, under a capitalist system. As I was saying, we are supposed to live in a capitalist country with legal marijuana. So that must mean if you're 19, you can sell a gram of weed to another 19-year-old. Nope. For some retarded reason, that's a criminal offense. If we should have a true free market marijuana, the market should set the price of weed, not the government. The government is pushing incredibly high percentage marijuanas and is pushing concentrates on people and edibles. Like, I smoke weed. No one needs wax. No one needs oil. No one needs hash. No one needs fucking 30-something% marijuana. If you want to buy that, you should be able to buy it. I'm not saying it should be illegal. But the market should set the price. The market should set the regulations. Having essentially it be so strictly controlled is absurd. That's not capitalism. That is socialism. Essentially, if marijuana was legal in the Soviet Union, they would have came up with something exactly like the Cannabis Act, where essentially it determines how many grams you can buy, how much you can possess, whether you can sell it or not to another adult. It's just absurd. It is socialist communism. It is Marxism. Because it is market regulation. Like, I believe in the free market economy. That's why I voted for the only truly free market democratic party in Canada, the People's Party. The People's Party of Canada is the only actually democratic free market party. They support the rights and freedoms of Canadians, and as an Indigenous person, I personally love how they want to reform the Indian Act. Literally, the most racist piece of legislation that is still in effect today. It literally is called the Indian Act. And it outlines literally who is a Indian and who isn't a Indian, based off of not necessarily your ancestry, but your blood. Like, I am 25% Acadian, 25% Indigenous, the rest is like British. If I were to have kids with a white girl, my kids would not be considered Indigenous. Only if I were to have a kid with an Indigenous woman. Essentially, the government is trying to tell me who I can or can't marry and who I can or can't have kids with. Because the government's essentially saying, if you have kids with a white woman, your kids won't have any hunting rights whatsoever. And the People's Party is the only party in Canada that, one, respects treaties, two, wants to reform, if not abolish, the Indian Act, number three, supports gun rights. They are the only party in Canada that supports castle doctrine, self-defense laws, and also they propose very reasonable adjustments to the Socialist Firearms Act that makes completely arbitrary restrictions on what gun is prohibited or not.